Oregon and LSU and Les Miles opened with Oregon and smacked them around. Alabama knocked around USC and Wisconsin and Vatech for years. The SEC fears nobody.
Stop it. I love the SEC. Put them on. By the way, if you just had an only SEC college football playoff show, it would be absolutely wonderful. How about that out there, SEC backers?
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
So the Mets, they went through a rough stretch where they were terrible, but, they win the series versus the Mariners. They're kind of turning things around just a little bit. Like, the offense has been there. You said they were in a playoff race. It's tough to say, they need to win. It's like trying to trust teams in different sports at the end of the season. But the hitters are hitting right now. Lean into the Mets, lean into the Phillies. These teams have something to play for, and they're cooking right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think what you saw last year is it's tough to say, it's projectable, but I do think it's something that when you're taking shots here, you're looking for a bye-week coverage wide receiver on your roster or a guy that has upside who's young enough to grow into more of a role. I think the development of Bo Nix was stunningly good last year. If we can build on that again this year, I think Marvin Mims is a really good selection as the 57th wide receiver off the board.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
What does he do after he hits the home run? He walks over to the fan and he pats him on the back and gives him a high five. This is the same fan that's been going after him for the entire game. Dave Roberts after the game saying, hey, look, every once in a while, it's kind of funny to see Shohei, who's got this wonderful personality that we almost never see. It was great to see him do that with the fans.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day here on the grid on a football Thursday. Little Thursday night football. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next 3.5 hours. We'll take you to the end of the NFL game. Figure right around at 11:30 or so Eastern time. Watching, analyzing, betting the world of sports. Yes, pretty good NFC matchup, but with in the end, who knows? Maybe playoff implications because the winner here would obviously grab the tiebreaker if they have both finished up battling for a wild card spot or even a division championship. Right, little Green Bay hosting the Washington Commanders. Got some key baseball games. Mets trying to avoid the sweep. College football tonight with an ACC battle that is turning into one with a lot of points. We love points in these ACC battles, little Wake Forest action. So we'll get to it all. Little I don't know what you want to call it, 1 AA, triple A, whatever they are, black colleges as well. Gabe has put a couple of shekels on my partner in crime, Mr. Morency. What's going on, Gabe? How are you tonight?
Yeah, we got a football triple header. WNBA, final night of regular season play, baseball games as well. Just quickly, I'll throw it out there. I'm taking the Valkyries plus the 7 against Minnesota. The Valkyries win the game. They go to 6. They lose the game. They fall to 8. Big game for the Valkyries tonight. So I'll take the 7. I think they're going to hang around. Minnesota's playing for absolutely nothing. But, yeah, we got 3 football games on the board here, Scott. And Wake Forest getting 7 points off to a 14-0 lead. Right now on NC State early. Wolfpack are getting 3.5, total 61.5. And I tell you, the total feels a little light because NC State will score. And Wake Forest are moving the ball. They opened up the game with an opening kickoff. And, yeah, I went hardcore tonight. I figured if the game is on ESPN2, Fort Valley State and Clark Atlanta, some HCBCU. Too many letters, Scott.
Yeah, BCU.
Heritage Black College University football. Heritage HBCU.
I thought that was at the end of the year. Wasn't that Grambling and Alabama State at the end of the year? Didn't we just have
that's
one
the
like
Celebration Bowl. That's the Celebration Bowl. Like this is
silly me.
It's rivalry week, bro. Like all these black colleges, they don't like each other, right? The bands and all that, and like fun stuff. So it's actually on ESPN too, but. You said it, Scott. We got a really, really fun game tonight. Like with the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Commanders. Think about the similarities. You got Jaden Daniels, young star quarterback. Jordan Love's developing into a young star quarterback right now. They bring in Micah Parsons. Washington brings in Deebo Samuel, right? Sort of like a give and take. All right, we're going to go offense. You guys are going heavier defense here. So I'll just get right after it because I know you got a same-game parlay and a ton of stuff to get to as well. Guys, we are 4-0 in the primetime games to start the season. All right? We were on the Cowboys plus the points. We were on the Chargers plus the points. We were on the Bills plus the point. And we were on the Minnesota Vikings plus the point. So actually, the underdogs have covered in all 4 primetime games so far this year. I think this trend continues. Give me the Washington Commanders plus 3.5 points. It's down to 3 right now. But earlier today, whatever, and I actually got it at 4 at minus 122. But Washington Commanders plus the points. I think there's going to be points in this football game. And I tweeted this out earlier, Scott. People don't talk about NFL referees enough. They talk about umpires a bit, but Brad Rogers is the referee tonight. He's the number 1 referee in the National Football League at pass interference penalties. In his career, 55% of his games in his career, Scott. This isn't a flash in the pan type of. 55% of the games that he is Brad Rogers. It's his first game in 2025, ranked number 1 in defensive pass interference in 2024. Over the years, home teams have a 48.5% cover rate. In his career, in games hit at an over rate of 55% in Brad Rogers officiated football games. So I know it's a short week, Thursday, but I'm still playing the over here. Give me a 7-point teaser. Love this with the Commanders up to 10 and over 42 points. Couple of quick touchdown props for you. Jaden Daniels to get to the end zone at plus 165. Samuel get to the end zone at plus 180. Jaden Reed to score at plus 190. Tucker Kraft to score a touchdown at plus 210. First touchdown score, Jaden Daniels, 11-1. And how about this, Wetzel? Give me a final score prediction of yours. Mine, Washington, 27. Green Bay, 24. 125-1. I put $25 on it, and it pays like $3,200 to get back. Low risk, high reward, Wetzel. What do you got for me? Oh, and we're playing a long field goal prop over.
Oh, absolutely. That's an automatic.
That's 4-0 to the over in prime games, too.
What is it tonight? Is it 50 or change? Is it higher than 50 tonight?
Let me get this. So, this game's going to – I say it's going to be 50.5, Scott. I didn't put it in yet. I'm going to get it loaded up here right now. I'm going to say 50.5.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to play a system. I love systems. You guys that watch the game live over the years, I love systems. One of the best systems is I love playing on a team that's playing its last – I know this is goofy. That's playing its last game of the season because they're not making the playoffs, and they're playing a team that's going to be in the postseason. It's not easy to do tonight because you're going to have to put hard-earned American money on Chicago, but give me the Chicago Sky getting 19.5 right now against the Liberty, who are locked into the number 5 seed, and give me Dallas plus 7.5 WNBA against Phoenix. Phoenix locked into the number 4 seed. They're playing for nothing. Nobody wants to end the season. No matter how bad your year is, nobody wants to end the season on a loss. So I think we get honest efforts out of Chicago and Dallas. A little SGP we're going to use for our same game parlay with the NFL tonight. How about that, fellas? I got to tell you, man, we are on fire. We hit again last night, over 10.5-1 as we had an SGP on the Dodgers. We hit 2 nights ago with a 6.5-1 SGP. So we are really playing with house money tonight. So where are we going to go? I like Green Bay. Line dropped to 3. All the money's on Washington. If that line goes from 3.5 to 3, that's a magic number. A lot of people, some key people are betting Washington. I'll take Green Bay just the same. Give me Jaden Daniels, 50 yards rushing. His number's 44.5. I'm going to bump it up to 50. I love that play. Maybe the best play on the board tonight. Josh Jacobs, a touchdown. He's scored touchdowns in 10 straight games. It's minus 205. We're going to go Deebo Samuel, 40 yards receiving, and minus 192. We're going to lower these odds a little bit. Zach Ertz, 25 yards receiving. Again, we'll lower the odds, minus 235. His real number is close to 40. Add it all up, and it's a decent little 10-1. So I'll take that. Green Bay, Daniels, 50 yards rushing. Jacobs, a touchdown. Samuel, 40 yards receiving. Ertz, 25 yards receiving. And we'll have some fun. Let's go Jaden Reed, Jacobs, and Terry McLaurin to combine for 4 touchdowns, which is a lot. I get that. It's 7-1. And then the one we always like to play, each team scoring 2 touchdowns rushing and 2 touchdowns passing. That's 22-1. I actually don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but the boys in Vegas, Gabe, are telling you it is. It's up to 49. That's a big, fat number for a Thursday game where things generally are a little close to the vest since you only have a couple of days off from Sunday. But they're telling me it's going to be an over, so I'll play some over props there. What do you think?
I like the Jaden Daniels prop. I could have went on and on with my list, but I didn't out of time. But I do agree. I got a 46.5, so I didn't get a 44.5. I got 46.5 for Jaden Daniels to rush over the number. Look, the Washington Commanders, they got to 21 last week. They ran a vanilla offense against the New York Giants. Jaden Daniels still ran for 60 yards. And I think people are being a little bit overly dramatic about the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, they look really good last week against the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff is one of the least mobile quarterbacks in the National Football League. Jaden Daniels is going to be a lot harder to track down and contain than Jared Goff was in his first game without Ben Johnson last week. So I think we're in for a really fun football game. I got a 27-24 final, but I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay won 27-24, but I'll pull the trigger with the Commanders.
All right, I got 27-21 Green Bay. It pays 100-1. We'll see how things turn out. Joe D'Amico comes up next from WagerTalk.com.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe until the end of the football game tonight, as we always are, Mondays and Thursdays. Pretty good one. We got Washington in Green Bay to take on the Packers. Line is down to 3, over-under right around 49, depending on where you do your shopping. So let's get some thoughts from Joe D'Amico, good buddy of ours who comes on the program all the time. Check out all his picks at wagertalk.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Joe D'Amico Wins. What's going on, Joe? We got a big game tonight. Not bad. Little NFC battle. Line did move, as I mentioned, from 3.5 to 3. Well, what do you make of that, Jets? That's not going from 5.5 to 5. No big deal. 3.5 to 3 is a magic number.
Well, Scott, Gabe, first of all, thanks for having me back. I love you guys. I'm always watching the show. I got to tell you, when this line was 3.5, I understood the line. Understand that the odds makers, they don't have to put out a line that has to be sharp. It has to put out to where they take bets on both sides. And I think this is a very good matchup tonight. Packers, Commanders, defenses both look good in their season openers. Obviously, the Packers are going to get a little more headlines because they shut down a little more high-profile, high-explosive offense in the Detroit Lions than the Commanders did, shutting down a lackluster offense in the Giants. However, don't take away from that Commanders defense. They still shut them down. They still played a smart game. This line at 3.5, I was definitely – I put a few bucks on the dog plus 3.5. At 3, it takes that temptation away. I do think the Commanders should play them tough. Maybe even Green Bay comes in here a little overconfident, and maybe in a letdown situation after last week's big game. At 3, doesn't have an attraction for me. At 3.5, I like the dog.
Scott and Joe, thinking about the total here, up to 49 right now. We saw 12-4 to the under in week 1. And I'm not so sure there's going to be some sort of automatic explosion in week 2, guys, but the primetime games, Friday, Chargers game, went over the number. Sunday night, Bills game, primetime game, went over the number. Monday night, Scott, primetime game, went over the number. So despite the big trend to the under in the National Football League, the 4 primetime games, we are 3-1. And, dude, the only one that stayed under was, let's not bring it up, feels like it was a lot long ago, than last Thursday, Dallas and Philadelphia.
It
much has happened in our lives.
Pretty recent. It shows pretty recent on my ledger, I'll tell you that.
You're feeling it in the wallet still, huh, Wetzel?
Yeah, exactly. So what do you make of that, Joe? So we're going to get some points? Because that is and it went from 48.5 to 49. Right? Like they're begging for under money here.
I'll tell you what, man, I got to be honest. I think that both defenses are going to play tough tonight. Both offenses are going to be like in the first few rounds of a good heavyweight championship fight, feeling each other out. I think everybody's going to go up top and over and go for a big yard gain in the first quarter or so. I kind of tend to like the under. I think you got two coaches that don't want to make a mistake. Primetime game, high-profile game, both come off big wins in season openers. I think I would tend to go under. Being that this line went to 49, I would definitely go under.
Is the loser a fraud here, depending on what the final score is? I mean, we've got some key matches. Buffalo or Baltimore. I mean, it's only week number 2.
It's pretty harsh, Wetzel. Are they a fraud?
It's a key game. Key game towards the end of the year, tiebreaker here.
No, I think both teams, regardless of what happens in the outcome of the game, both teams are going to be contenders. I really do. I think both can vie for their divisions without question. I mean, Washington plays in a very tough division, and so does Green Bay, but a little more money came out in Green Bay to take their division. I don't think either team, no matter what the outcome, is going to be called a fraud. I think both teams are going to be teams to be reckoned with in their divisions and in the conference this season.
All right, how about some
Green Bay
futures,
Packers get the ball
NFC?
first.
Okay, cool. So Green Bay gets the ball first. We'll see what they. I wonder if they win the coin toss. Do you know, or did they get that deferred to them? Do you know that? Not that it matters. They get the ball first. What's the difference? I suppose.
No, that's why I don't care. Like they got the ball first, and Washington will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah. What do you make of what happened week number 1, and how do you see the NFC playing out?
I think the NFC is got a lot of action to be played, and obviously in a long season like this, an injury or two brings some of these teams that's supposed to win 10 or 11 games down to 9 or even an 8-game win by the end of the season. I still think the top teams are going to be there. I think the Packers, maybe the Niners, I don't know. We'll see how they play on the road. The Eagles will definitely be there. Watch out for the Lions. They'll bounce back. I'm not worried about them. The Commanders are a good team. I think you watch out for a sleeper like the Rams. They're not a bad team. I think they got their ducks in a row, so to speak. I think there's a lot of good teams in the NFC. The one thing about them is they have to play within a division quite a few times, and that that hurts a little bit. You know, some of these teams, they play better against other teams, play teams that in their divisions tougher. They know because they see each other quite a few times each season. But I think there's quite a few teams that can take it in the NFC. I don't think there's one clear team that's going to run away with it.
How about a couple games on Sunday? We'll start with Giants and Dallas. Giants are 1-15, Joe. I probably don't have to tell you that. Last 16 against the Cowboys, getting 4.5, 5 or so.
Well, I got to tell you, this is a game I was going to give out free on the show in a little bit, and I really do like this game. The line went down on it, which is okay. You know, I got a nice intro on this. Whenever NFC East teams face one another, let me try that. Those hooked on phonics books, send them in the mail. Whenever NFC East teams face one another, usually makes for an interesting contest. The Cowboys, they played very well in their season opener last week on the road at Philly. And to be honest with you, they stepped on their own feet. You know, I'll be honest with you. If they didn't make a couple of mistakes, they could have won that game. But they are the Cowboys. Having said that, they held their own against a well-balanced defending Super Bowl champions. They faced the Giants opponent. They fell short in the first game of the campaign on the road to the Commanders. But when your quarterback, your aging quarterback at that, is your leading rusher, how much offense can you possibly produce in the NFL? Maybe people bet the Giants last week because they won and covered all 3 of their preseason games. But that was preseason. This is regular season. Once again, they have an offense that just can't score points outside of a late-season victory last year against the Colts, and a Colts team that took all their starters out before the game. They didn't need the game. They had not topped 20 points going back to the first week of October last season. The Dallas defense leaves a lot to be desired, especially without Micah Parsons wreaking havoc. But the Giants' offense just isn't built to exploit their opponent's defense here. How about a little history? Dallas has taken 8 straight meetings in its rivalry, straight up 7-1 against the number, playing at home for their loyal fans. Following a season opening loss is going to further motivate them. Dallas 13-12 ATS facing NFC opponents with Dak Prescott at the helm. I think Dallas blows them up double digit with Dallas.
All right, we'll get some more fun from Joe on some other games when we come back to Game Live.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes what. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards. You know,
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number one. Looking at some NFL, a couple baseball games, WNBA games as well. Talk with Joe D'Amico. Check out all his plays at wagertalk.com, wagertalk.com. Follow him on Twitter at Joe D'Amico Wins. So, guys, I know this means nothing, but, man, I just hate these uniforms the Packers are wearing. Look, you said it, Joe, in the break. They look like the Jets or Tulane. It's all white. Where's Northwestern when you need them?
I like that.
It's all white with the white. Oh, no, with the goofy white helmet?
I'm going to disagree with you.
Green Packer helmet. Oh, my goodness.
I agree.
You like it.
I like the yellow and green. I miss the old-time helmets.
It could be worse. So, listen, we've got an injury here, and, man, like the Packers wide receivers just get injured more than any other wide receivers in the league. It's constant. Packers are moving the ball down the field. They had like a 3rd and 15 on the Washington 40-yard line. They threw a bomb into the end zone, but there's another penalty. They keep on getting called for holding. Green Bay. So they're going backwards right now, and we'll keep our eye on how severe this is, but we got a wide receiver down in the corner here. Was it Reed? Reed caught the ball, too. Was it Reed?
Wow.
Yeah, it was Reed. So Reed,
touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. And I got Reed, Scott, to score a touchdown in the game.
Me too.
Reed's the guy. Reed's the guy on this team. He's their best wide receiver. But it wouldn't have counted anyways. It wasn't a touchdown. He caught it like the 1 or something, but it doesn't count anyways because there was a penalty on Green Bay. They're going backwards, and looks like Reed just separated his shoulder. They're doing the old. They're trying to pop his shoulder back in place.
Do I get a refund on my Reed prop bet? Wow.
You know what, Scott? You know what? The other night, just quickly, I'll bring it up. I did get refunded on that Worthy prop when Travis Kelce killed him.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't think they would. The book I bet with isn't like, they don't care. Like, they're not trying to win the public over. They don't give you, like, they're old school. No, he played. He got hurt. No, I did get reward. I got my money back. But Reed already caught a couple of balls in this game. So you're not getting your money back if he ain't coming back.
I tell you what, his leg hit the pylon, Gabe. That would have been a touchdown. But to be fair,
the official
threw the But the official did throw the flag right away, like before Daniel threw the ball. So it wasn't like one of those, you got.
And I got to be honest, just quickly, it looked like the Washington guy kind of like bumped into his own guy and got pushed over, and the ref fell for it. To be honest, that's just my take. And I'm on Washington, but I think Green Bay got screwed on that play.
Washington is throwing a lot of pressure at the quarterback. I'll be honest.
They really are.
They're getting held. They're getting held here and there. You could see it a little bit. So if they're getting held, that means that they're getting to the quarterback, and they got to hold because they can't deal with the pressure. And there's okay.
So they go for it on 4th and 3. They don't take the 3 points. Matt LaFleur does weird things, man. I swear. I'm telling you, Scott, he's kind of all over the place, LaFleur. He's one of these dudes that gets credited as being like this super smart guy. He does, remember, like, even in the playoffs with Rodgers when he actually kicked the field goal instead of going for it. Dude, just take the 3. So you went for it on 4th and 3. You didn't get it. You didn't get any points out of it. So the total's dropped right now, obviously. Green Bay gets nothing on the drive. Total is currently 45.5.
Especially when you just lost your best wide receiver. Just get at it. You said, just give me the 3. First drive, nothing wrong with that.
They're allergic to field goals, these guys, unless they have to. Like, they hate field goals, modern coaches.
Yeah.
The younger coaches seem to go a lot more often. I'd like to put points on the board, especially earlier in the game, especially in that situation where I lose my wide, where I could possibly, I don't know the status of my wide receiver. I want to put points on the board right away. That's a big leg up for that team. I don't like to go for it there in that situation. I think if they were dominating the line of scrimmage, if they only had a short yardage game to go, I would have maybe give them the benefit of the doubt, but not in that situation. I would have went for the 3 points for sure.
All right, give me a minute on Kansas City and Philadelphia Sunday.
KC, Philly. Oh my God, I love this game. I know everybody likes the Eagles here, but this is a game that the Chiefs had circled since the schedule came out. Last week's loss uncharacteristic for the Chiefs, even though they averaged 6 yards a play, 2 failed red zone trips, 10 penalties. This is a game that Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and company definitely had circled since the schedule came out. Granted, they lost the receiver. But the Eagles, that negates because the Eagles lost one of their anchors on their line. I want you to know something. While the Phillies are one of the most complete teams in the NFL, one thing they don't have is Patrick Mahomes. I think the Chiefs get their revenge. I think they were +1 before we won on the show. I'll take the Chiefs this week.
All right, give me your free phone pick. How can we get that for us?
Oh, 10.5 years. I got a pre-recorded pay pick hotline. 10.5 years over the last 60 to 62 days, 40 and 23. 69.3% for 10.5 years. 1-800-563-8854. That's 1-800-SHOW-8854 every day on a pre-recorded message line. No callback, no filter, no BS. Call it 1-800-563-8854. Guarantee yourself a winning day.
Go. Go. Right.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts.
Right.
Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Cool. Listen, we thanked them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards. You know,
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Age. That's funny. That's funny. All right, Joe. Welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out all the action. Thanks to Joe D'Amico. Find out all his plays at wagertalk.com. So still looking for our first points. First possession for Green Bay. Not necessarily 4 out, but out on downs. Washington is about to punt the ball away after not getting. I don't think they got a first down. I bet they got one first down. But it's 4th and 4, their own 39-yard line. So 8 minutes and change left to go first quarter, Gabe. And Packers. Oh, now what happened? They blocked the punt.
The guy. No, you know what? So the defenses have stepped up. Both teams have applied pressure on the quarterback. So Green Bay did move the ball. Washington basically punted 3 and out type of deal. But they just downed them on the 1 yard line. Are they going to pick the flag up? Did they pick it up? They picked it up. They picked the flag up. All right. So Buddy, for whatever reason on the Green Bay Packers, Matthew Golden, he's a rookie. He should have let the ball bounce. The guy on the Packers, the rookie out of Texas, caught the punt on the 4 yard line, Scott. His buddy on Washington was waiting for him, freaking drilled him to the 1 yard line. And it's all right, whoa, they're literally on the goal line right now. But then, he wouldn't let his shoe go when he was getting up, and he did a wrestling move. He flipped him. Watch, it's dude, what are you doing? This isn't WWE, bro. He wasn't a threat to run. The play was over. Yeah, exactly. He could say, I didn't know. Maybe he was going to take off. Yeah. They picked the flag up, Scott. They called it, but they picked it up.
Oof, that's not good for over-bettors. We don't want it at the 1 yard line. Unless we get a turnover here. But otherwise,
no, I'd rather
you want that out to
the
20.
I'm on Washington in the over. I don't mind this on the goal line right now. Yeah, let's get some chaos, safety, push them backwards, punt from the end zone.
He did
even for the
I tell
over.
you see that
I'm
second
closer
angle,
to the goal
he did
line
kinda
now
like
than I would be.
throw him. Yes.
I would have called a penalty.
I think I would have too. Seeing that angle, I think I would have called because he lifted his leg up. So the receiver's standing on one leg, the tackler is holding his other leg, and it does kind of give it a little jerk leg after he has it up in the air. He's doing the splits. So you
What I don't understand though,
that
Scott, is the league is worried about like taunting and hand signals and stuff like this. They're like cracking down on that. Yet you just let a guy flip a dude in the end zone.
Yeah.
You know, like, so you're going to call someone for taunting later. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He could have gotten up, made a good play, wouldn't let his ankle go, and it got into a fake like, oh, he won't let go of me thing. Like you could tell Buddy was like trying to sell it, and he tried to flip Golden. Like, but I'm amazed they picked the flag up. And I'm on Washington. I would have called a penalty on that, Wetzel. I would have been like, bro, like the play was over, man. You tried to flip him. I'm not kicking you out of the game or anything, but it's a 15-yarder.
Yeah. At least they, if you're a Packer fan anyway, you actually got, you were tackled at the 4. He kind of got driven back, I suppose. So they did mark it at the 4, not the 1. I don't like that rule, by the way. If you're carrying the guy back 5-10 yards, I get it. But just because you had initial contact at the 4, you're tackling him, you're spinning him around. He's trying to break free still. And, he gets tackled at the 1, but they mark it at the 4 because that's where the initial contact was.
So why is it, Scott, that it's automatically over there, but let's say the Buddy spins off of you and he takes off. Is it automatically over? No.
Yeah.
I don't understand that either. No. The other one is, too, where they catch the ball across the first down stick and then they come back like 4 yards. It's like, and they give it to him because they caught it at the stick or whatever. It's like, he kind of lost it after. You can give it to him if you want, but everything is made easier all the time now. Let's just call it out for what it is, right? They're making like every rule in every sport doesn't make the sport harder. And Jaden Reed's gone to the room right now. I think he's got a separated shoulder for real. Same thing that happened to Worthy.
Wow. Here's another one. We're going on this tangent in the games at a break here. So, by the letter of the law, Gabe, defenders are throwing punches. Now, it seems like for whatever reason, they have great, insight, and they're punching and they're hitting the ball, and the ball is being fumbled. If you look at the Derrick Henry fumble just the other day. But technically, the defender is throwing a punch. If you look at the rules, it does not say the punch has to land. If two guys are squaring off and one guy throws a punch that doesn't happen to connect, he's getting kicked out of the game. That's what's happening on a lot of these fumbles. These guys are throwing punches. It's closed fist and everything. So
no, they are.
Someone's got to complain about that.
You're allowed to swipe at the football. Yeah, but they all do it, so no one's going to complain about it.
I know.
Right? But you're right. Technically, you're not allowed to punch. It's a good call by you. A massive play here to Kraft. So the Packers just moved right down. That was literally like an 80-yard chunk play to Tucker Kraft. But Jaden Reed's out of the game right now, guys. It doesn't look like he's coming back. You see him walking off, he looked like Frankenstein or like the Hunchback. Like he was bent over and
literally.
Yeah, he couldn't. It was basically no, we can't just pop this back. This is bad. And you saw, he couldn't, he was leaned over on one way, but Tucker Kraft was just open over the middle of the field. He's a big option for him, but no, I agree with you as far as the rules. There's a lot. Listen, you and I can go on and on, Scott. Watching college, it drives me crazy. The stupidest rule ever is if the kid is down, if his knee is down, even though he's not touched. You see this white, you see, it's well, what are we doing here? You're protecting the kids. But we'll see if Washington can step up here on defense because they're on the 20-yard line just like that. Green Bay did move the ball before, and then Washington tightened up after. So we got an in-game total now, Scott, of 43.5 in the game.
Let me throw it out there just because we've been on this for the last couple of days. Mets now actually lead the Phillies 4-3. But same as the last couple of days, I don't know. The boys in Vegas must not be watching the Phillies and Mets bullpens because they're giving us 9.5.
Nobody's betting baseball. They don't care.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but it's 4-3, sixth inning. Are we going to get 3 more runs? I'm pretty sure over the next 3.5 innings, and because the Phillies are trailing, you're going to be getting them to bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. So just to throw it out there, give me the over 9.5 Phillies and Mets, and watch that turn into a 7-6 game. So that's a huge blow. You said it, Gabe. But this Green Bay Packer team, man, if you look at the last couple of years, you talk about being snake bit with their wide receivers. If this poor guy's out, I mean, every
Christian
other
Watson.
week, it's like,
think about it, Scott. They've drafted a bunch of, like, people criticize their wide receiver room all the time. It's like, you know what? Remember Aaron Rodgers said, I can't deal with these kids. They were all rookies. They're actually pretty good, but they get hurt all the time, Scott. Look at Romeo Dobbs. Poor guy's got a bubble for a helmet. Right? Like, because his head's all messed up. So,
he's
you know what I mean? He's kind of like,
there.
He's got this. I don't understand how they can't just make a cooler looking, more protective helmet, but that's beyond me. But nevertheless, so he's got the big thing because he's got head issues. Jaden Reed is kind of the more consistent one, but he gets banged up and he's messed up right now. And Christian Watson is injured right now. The speed burner, Scott, who's a good wide receiver, he's injured. So it's constant with, and now they draft, that's why they drafted Matthew Golden, the kid out of Texas. So they added another one in here. And I got to be honest with you, Scott, Golden, he got knocked out of the playoff game last year. He got hurt against Ohio State. So it's like, all right, you kind of drafted another wide receiver. It's the exact same.
That's our guy. Circle him. He just got hurt. We're going to draft him now for sure.
Exactly. Oh, he's fast. Oh, man, he's brittle. Oh, hey, perfect. All right, he's our guy.
Perfect.
If I'm the Packers, Scott, I'm like, no. We're drafting like a 6'4" dude next time. I don't want one of these little speed burners. They keep on getting hurt over and over. But Jordan Love crashes it near the goal line right now. So it looks like the Green Bay Packers are on the verge of punching one in. Total just popped back up to 46.5. Packers lay 6.5 right now. And Scott, I don't know if you bet the Wake and NC State game.
I got the over.
We got a track meet. Good stuff. Yeah. Over 53. And I just took over 71.5 a couple of minutes ago. I wanted to bring this up to people. It's only 73.5 right now. Wake just scored again. So we got a 21-14 game with 9.5 minutes left in the first half, guys. Wow. There could be another 2 touchdowns, maybe 3 in this half. I'll say there's another 2. I have no problem with anybody betting over 73.5 here right now.
Yeah. This has got Wake Forest, North Carolina, or Wake Forest, Duke written all over it, like 45-40. Absolutely. 53.5 is a gift. All right, more football talk, a little baseball as well. WNBA right here on the Grid.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards. You know,
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. So Mr. Magoo, although we really shouldn't make fun of it, the guy's got concussion issues, but it does just look kind of goofy. But Romeo Dobbs with the easy touchdown. I mean, he's got single coverage.
And Magoo doesn't make sense, Scott. Magoo was blind, so we can call him like Bubblehead, Bubble Boy, or something like that.
Mr.
And
Magoo
even
with
that's
the
mean, but like
with the Flintstones. I'm talking Mr. Magoo with the Flintstones. You watched the Flintstones growing up? With Mr. Magoo, the guy in his he wasn't blind.
Mr. Magoo is the blind guy that walked through construction sites all the time.
No, I'm talking Mr. Magoo on the Flintstones that used to be.
Who's
on
Mr. Magoo on the Flintstones?
He was that little space character. You know,
that's the Green Gazoo.
Oh, Gazoo, Mr. Gazoo. That's it. Magoo,
you're way off. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He's got the same head as
who's Mr. Magoo then? Who's the guy for the
Mr. Magoo's the blind guy. He's the comic. He was blind. He wasn't blind, but he was like an old man, a little old man. He would walk around on the streets and always avert disaster all the time.
I don't know that one. What TV show was that?
Mr. Magoo.
That was the TV show, Mr. Magoo?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm talking Mr. Gazoo. I'm talking. I don't know that.
Gazoo and Magoo are two different things. But look it up.
Two different things.
Look it up.
Okay, we'll look it up.
You'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah.
All right. All right. So 7-0 Dobbs. That's what stupid coverage, right? That's where coaching comes into play, right? So they're all scrunched up at the line of scrimmage. It's first and goal from the 5-yard line, and Dobbs is split out way to the right. He's got single coverage. I mean, that's just a classic. And all he does is a little 2 yards up and slant in. There's no way that defensive back can guard him. Perfect pass, easy touchdown. 7-0 Packers now laying 5.5. 47.5 is your total.
And he's one of the 4 touchdown scorers that I don't have tonight. I almost took everybody. I took 2 on each team. You sort of got to pick your poison, and no excuses. But Reed came close to scoring the first touchdown and scoring a touchdown, right? And they were going to him. It's pretty clear, they were going to him, but he got hurt. Dobbs is good though, right? Dobbs had injury problems, but Dobbs is good. But like you said, a breakdown in coverage. Washington's defense is an immaculate, Scott, as we know, right? So it's one of the reasons why I like the over of this game. I expected both teams to get into the 20s, but I'll tell you what, just early right now, Washington's offense, Scott, just can't get anything going. They keep on running the ball on every play. They're hell-bent on running the ball, and they're really not getting anything. And I think you know why they're hell-bent on running the ball, Scott? Last year they were 13-2 when they rushed for 100 or more yards. They were 1-4 when they didn't. I think Dan Quinn knows this. I think he's they're hell-bent on run the ball, and then we'll let Jaden throw. But way too conservative to start this game for my liking for Washington.
Yeah. Listen, your bread and butter is Jaden Daniels, right? I mean, Eckler was a nice
back
a few years back. But let the kid make some. They've thrown 2 times, 2 for 2. And he's not even scrambling. So you're right. Sometimes these coaches, they hear those things, but, that's kind of like an anomaly to me. I'd have to look and see at those 4 games that they didn't rush for and see what happened. Maybe they were getting blown out early on, so they were throwing. I got to read more into that.
The team that rushes the ball more, Scott, the team that rushes the ball more wins games, point blank.
Yeah.
Just point blank. You show me the quarterback that threw for 350, I'll show you the losing quarterback. Yeah. The Derrick Henry, put it in an example, they were the first team ever to lose, right? They ran for 225 yards and had 40 points. That was the first time in NFL history.
That's crazy.
It's happened. You're right, though. Some teams will have these stats because they're running the ball because they already have the lead. Did they win because they were running the ball, or do they have these rush yards because they had the lead and they're running the ball late in the game? But Dan Quinn is a meat and potatoes guy. They do believe in establishing this run. So penalties, I tell you, this Green Bay defense terrorized Detroit in week 1. I got to give them credit, Scott. They terrorized the Lions in week 1, and they're terrorizing the Commanders right now in week 2. Their defense is all over Washington.
Tell you, they do get off to great starts, too. Packers at home, especially first few weeks of the season, nearly unbeatable. This would be a nice little double dip for them, right? You beat Detroit 1 week, and then you come back and you beat the Commanders the next week, albeit both at home, but still. I'm not the biggest believer in Green Bay. Not that it would shock me. I got to see a little bit more out of Jordan Love to make me think he could win a Super Bowl, but obviously this would be a good start for him. So, but, listen, Washington was trailing in a bunch of their games last. This thing is far, far from over. 5 of their last 7 wins came on the final play from scrimmage, obviously dating back to last year. So you got a ways to go. And if you like Washington getting in, and I didn't, but if you did, you're getting over a touchdown now. 7.5
minus
130. 8.5.
I see it 8.5. Yeah. So 7.5 / 8.5. And listen, we've been very good on this show. Listen, Sunday night we went 7-0 with our in-game picks. Monday night, both me and Scott did well with the in-game betting with the Bears and the Vikings. But it has to happen organically, Wetzel. I can't force it. So the game is just starting right now. So it's sort of like, all right. But now my mind starts to think a little bit about Jaden Daniels passing yard props, the numbers will start to dip right now, right? It's sort of like J.J. McCarthy the other night, right? They really struggled. You and I ended up getting J.J. at like 138.5, 140, and we win that bet. So I like when teams struggle early, and I know they ain't taking Jaden Daniels out of the game, so unless he gets hurt, he's going to play the 4 quarters. So I'm going to keep my eye on the Jaden Daniel props here, Scott, and if we can get a nice number, if it just keeps on dropping and there's another drive or two that they don't do anything, I think I'm going to hop in on some Daniels over player props, and I'll get you the updated number right now. See, he's already all the way down. He's got 9 yards passing. He's down to 206.5 right now.
Wow.
Another bad drive or Green Bay?
I watched.
Who do you want? Listen, Jordan Love, Scott. Already 118 passing yards.
18 yards.
Wow.
You got him almost 300.
That's crazy.
But
it's 295.5
wide receiver. Who's picking up the slack for Reed? Dobbs? Golden?
Who's going to be the guy? They got a lead.
That's
and they got Jacobs. They use them. They're going to run the ball a bit now, too. Right? They have a little bit of a lead, but it's up to Washington. If Washington score, we'll get in on the pile on Love over.
What? Well, coming up.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards.
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe closing out hour number one. We'll be here until the end of the football game. You know what we always do, final segment, hour number one, Black Cloud Play of the Day. This is kind of really an anti-Colorado play as it is a pro-San Diego play. But the Rockies, who I thought a long time ago were surely going to not set the record for the worst record in the history of baseball, they still need 2 more wins. And chances are they're going to get those. But it's been a struggle, man. They're 1-9, 1-8 their last 9, 3-16 their last 19. They are back to being the Colorado Rockies after having about a 10-day stretch where it wasn't too bad. San Diego, losing 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati, this week is just awful, inexcusable. But they got the Colorado Rockies at home. They're 7-2 their last 9 against the Rockies. They have to win. They just have to win. So and they got this dude McCain Brown pitching for Colorado. He gave up 6 runs in less than 2 innings his last outing, which, oh, by the way, bury the lead, was against San Diego. So if they beat the snot out of them a week ago, I'm thinking at home in a must-win situation, they could do the same. Lay the 1.5, San Diego at home. We've been on fire with this stuff. We hit our couple Black Cloud plays. We hit the last 2 days. We hit both of our SGPs these last couple of days. So we've been pretty good. Our 5 on the lines come out okay. But tonight we'll lay it all on San Diego minus the 1.5 runs.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to get in front of arguing. I'm not going to argue and die on the Colorado Rocky Hill. I'll tell you that. Dodgers rolled last night. Mookie Betts hits the home run. How about that, though? Kyle Freeland went over 3.5 strikeouts at plus money, though.
Yes.
Even though he got lit up. Like, they left him in the game and whatever. Like, he actually was okay. I think it was like 4-0 when he left. The game. But has San Diego dominated, Scott, the same way the Dodgers have against Colorado? Yes and no, right? They're 7-3 in the last 10, but they're 2-2 the last 4 times that they played. I took Cincinnati last night, if you guys remember, in-game on the show. Said, we're getting the Reds at plus 150. Definitely worth a crack here. And they end up winning the game. But, yeah, you got to believe, Scott, that San Diego handled their business tonight, right, against Colorado.
Yeah, you have to, right? I mean, Colorado is 3-16 their last 19, 1-8 their last 9. If the Padres can't beat the Rockies, it's amazing. We say it all the time, Gabe. Every time you want to believe in these teams, who's going to beat the Dodgers, who's going to beat whether the Yankees or Tigers or Toronto, whoever you perceive as the best team in the East and in the American League, rather. All these teams approach it, and then they just get slapped in the face and go back to reality. So you just can't lose at home to Colorado. So I think they come out big and they win. And like I said, Colorado's in one of those funks now. This is, it's tough to compete. This time of the year, they're still searching for 2 more wins. I imagine they get it, but.
I got a baseball update for you, Wetzel, and you've been killing it. We've been killing it. I've been on it, too, and say, let's go over to 9.5 now. They're up to 10 in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the bases are still loaded in the Mets-Phillies game. Sound the alarm. Another Mets collapse. 6-4 Phillies now.
Wow. They led 4-0 in this game, the Mets.
And they got the bases loaded, Scott, still right now with 2 out. Like, they could hammer this game open right now, potentially.
Those are the
Mets collapse is real, bro. The Mets collapse is real.
Yeah.
And they got Jacob deGrom tomorrow. Like, it doesn't get easier.
Yeah.
San Francisco could pick up a half game tonight, cut this to a 1.5 but they got tomorrow, man, it's as good as it gets. Like, you got San Francisco and L.A. It's Verlander, not Verlander, Ohtani, and who's it, Robbie Ray and Verlander? I think it's the Aces. Like, who's pitching tomorrow?
Right.
I brought it up last night. It's Verlander and Yamamoto now. My bad. They changed it, so they adjusted.
Okay.
I see Verlander, Yamamoto listed. Sorry, go on.
That's right. To put it into perspective, how bad the Mets are playing, Gabe, since June 13th, they have a worse record than the Chicago White Sox. They have the 4th worst record
since June 13th. Like, if you would have said, August 13th, all right, the last month, but how the hell can you make the playoffs if you've been one of the worst teams in the league since June 13th? Unless you started the season 50-0, Scott. Like, they're going to collapse, bro. Like, this is lining up for San Francisco. I got in at plus 550.
Yeah. I got it at 840 on FanDuel. And FanDuel still had it at 7 and change this afternoon, plus 710. I don't understand how they think a team that's 2 games out with their schedule doesn't
Nobody
have
bets
like a
them or
really a
believes in
fighting
them.
chance.
Nobody believes in
guess
them or
not.
talks about them.
I mean, that's still a very good bet. I mean, 7-1 or 5-1 even. Wow,
could be a game and a half out.
Yeah, that's it.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards. You know,
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. So a little bit of a moment of truth here. Welcome back, Scott and Gabe, hour number 2 with the Washington Commanders. So they have it 4th and 9, Gabe, at the Green Bay 43. You're looking at, 59, 60-yard field goal. I don't think you would go for it, so it's either probably going to be a punt or would they actually try a field goal?
And you know what, Scott? So they throw the ball, and Samuel dropped it. It was a nice chunk play. It got a first down. It would have picked up 18, 20 yards type of deal. Right down the field. Perfect pass. Right on the money. Samuel had it in his hands for a second, and Buddy on the Packers came in and punched it loose. But a ball you got to catch if you're Samuel. You're a big dude. You can't be you just got out hustled. You got out that's your gig. You know what I mean? You're Debo, you're built like a rock. People don't knock the ball out of your hand like that. It was a clear drop, blatant drop. Now they punt. Washington finally started to get something going, but I don't know if it's Washington struggling so much or we got to, like I said a couple of minutes ago, we got to give credit. I mean, this is now 5.5 quarters of football that they've been dominant on defense, Scott. They were dominant against the Detroit Lions. People said, Ben Johnson's not there. Jared Goff sucks. All right, now they've been, the Commanders are being shut out right now. They're having a hard time picking up first downs, let alone putting points on the board. In-game total has fallen all the way to 42.5 right now.
Daniels is 6 of 8. Good news. Bad news, 20 yards. And they've run the ball for 4 yards. So they got 24 yards total offense. Not good.
Packers defense, dominance.
Yeah. We all thought it was kind of like Washington last week was just kind of laying low to Giants, don't have to show too much, right? Maybe there's a little something more to that. So the Samuel play was, listen, you could make that catch, but it was like punched out of his hand. Like he had it in his hands. He didn't just like drop. So it was a legitimate, really good play defensively. But still, you want the $30 million a year.
Yeah, if you're going to cry right? and demand trades, catch the ball.
Catch the ball. Yeah, like, put it away. Don't hold it out there.
Yeah, if you don't run your mouth and you're whatever, then it's like, all right, tough play. But when you talk so much and, get me the ball, okay, we just did. We just did get you the ball. And McLaurin, same thing. McLaurin wants, pay me. He's been invisible, right? It's guys, you got paid. Time to show up right now, right? That's the problem when teams get successful and people get paid, right? It changes the attitude. It just changes the dynamic. Like this Washington team doesn't appear to have that hunger and that edge that they did last year. Still early in the game. And there's one theme that you and I have seen, Scott, being on, with the exception of the Dallas game with the lightning delay. But all these games that you and I have done on primetime, the two of them have picked up. The Bear game, the total got down to like 33.5 type of deal. It went over. Remember, we said, let's have faith in the computer here and see what it does. The Chief-Charger game went over and said, dude, they scored a ton of points in the second half of that game. So you know what I'm doing, Scott. I'm just waiting for the right number, brother, and I'm hopping in on an in-game over here. Right?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the number. It's 41.5. Yeah. Let's see what happens. I want to, get a real number to attack.
Yeah. We could get a big play like we had last time when they were down at their own 4-yard line with crap going about 50 yards, right? But they're at their own 8. You got 12.5 minutes left. Even if they put a scoring drive to you, it's going to take time. And that
dude, they took a crack
is going to go lower.
And just missed. They took a crack. Like, they're going aggressive there. Wow. So, we can't say, they're not trying. Like, they literally just threw a 50-yard bomb to Matthew Golden over the middle of the field. It just missed. But, so they see something in Washington's secondary that they feel they can attack.
Yeah. They're probably saying, you know what, Washington? Russell Wilson is not walking through that door. No offense, Russell Wilson and the giant offensive line. But we're going to, you had nice and easy last week. Then now you're playing with the big boys, with Jordan Love and our guys. So let's throw the ball. Still, that's a lot of yards, too, 300 yards. But they, not calling up the dogs. I would, depending on what happens, I wouldn't put it in now, but somewhere along the line, the pendulum's going to flip, and they're going to start handing the ball off to Josh Jacobs. Let's see how low that number goes before we say, okay, now it's Jacobs' time.
Yeah, and the pendulum is going to flip, Scott, as well on the other side, where Jaden Daniels is going to start running and they're going to go into a hurry up, and they're going to have to get their offense going. And how do you get your offense going? Yeah. Pick up the pace, right? Especially now. There's a big third down coming up here. I imagine the Packers will get it just to bleed it and screw everybody that bet the over, and they did. They pick up the yard, so they got the chains keep moving. They got a first down on their own 20 right now with 11 minutes left. In-game total 40.5. Commanders getting 8.5 right now. And the college football game, we got a game going on here, Scott. 24-14. Wake Forest is up. Is 7-point home dogs on their home field tonight against NC State. And I don't know how you feel. I know you watch a lot of college football, so you probably feel the same way I do. You're a smart guy. NC State are money burners as a favorite, Scott. Like, I was looking at their games like last year, 2 years ago. Like, I was digging deeper into NC State football. And I was like, you know how many times they've won by 7 or more points against anybody in the last couple of years? It's like twice, Scott. Like, they're the kings of close games. Like, 31-24. Dude, they played a 7-point game against East Carolina to start the season. They played like a 3-4-point game last week against Virginia. They play close games. They're not good enough to blow anybody out.
And even against
we might have an awesome catch here.
Didn't they have back-to-back years where they missed field goals in the end when they could have upset
Clemson? They could have beat Florida State or Clemson or whatever. The big boys.
I know one was at least Clemson.
Yeah. And remember, every year, Scott, they're sort of like the Chargers. Like, you hear the sharp handicappers. Oh, they're sleepers to win the ACC this year. It's like, no, they're not. They're sleepers that go 7-5 like they go every year.
How about this one? I just started doing some of the opposite picks work and doing some college stuff.
I think he caught it. Sorry. We just got a bomb again. They're throwing it deep. I think Heath got both feet in. It looks like it's a catch, Scott. Check it out. I think you'll agree.
Who's 18? It's not Dobbs.
Heath.
Who's that? 1, 2. Oh, yeah, he's in.
He got it in before that knee hit, I think. That's a catch.
These guys make some crazy. Yep, there's the left foot, there's the right foot.
Yeah, the footwork's
I will say this about
like,
these
I don't know
NFL,
how you do that.
amazing.
Like you go up and you're like
amazing.
That's like,
and to know where you are, Gabe. That's even like it's one thing to get your feet down,
knowing
but to know
my knee's going to hit the ground. I got to get my toe down before my knee hits. Yeah, you're going down. I know. Like,
yeah, I mean it's crazy with some of the
ballerina type stuff.
Yeah. See now, I wonder why. What determines where the officials step in and say, nope, that was a catch. So Green Bay, you don't have to use a challenge. Because now they have the rule this year where the officials upstairs can say, no, that's a bad call. That's actually a catch. I wonder how long it takes for them before Green Bay says, all right, we're going to have to challenge it ourselves.
And people in the chat can confirm, because me and Scott are talking. I got my eye on the game and things, but I don't think they challenged it. I think that was a league. I think they just said, hold on a second. Because I don't think there was – I didn't see the whole challenge. Because we didn't even go to a commercial, Scott. If we would have went to God knows. They would have milked it for 10 minutes. Right? If they shot. So I think it was – I don't have a problem with this, Scott, with the league thing. But the problem is they choose when to play God, though. Sometimes they don't.
That's what I mean.
So it's like, well, guys, you have the power. You have the power. You could just say, no. You're all wrong. This is what happened. But you don't. You choose, and I swear to God, they seem to do it in Kansas City Chief games more. You know what I mean? Like they seem like the Jags don't get a lot of automatic reviews, Scott. You know what I'm saying? The Tennessee Titans don't seem to get a lot of automatic reviews.
Yeah. But the Kansas City Chiefs are the league leaders in that, for sure.
Green Bay Packers at home on Thursday
Yeah, on Thursday night, right? Yeah. Jordan Love up to 172 yards passing. We'll update his process.
Guy's going to go over 295 easy.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. You know, my former partner, Mr. Sherpan, God bless him here, used to have these sayings, Gabe, where the lines would be so crazy, he would call them the FU lines, right? And that's kind of what it was with Josh Jacobs scoring a touchdown. It's why I looked it up this afternoon. When
Yeah, we should have done it.
It was minus
touchdown Jacobs while we were gone.
Yeah, so it was minus 194, right? And I told you, sometimes I put the bets in my little betting
I saw
slip.
minus 225, Scott, for me. That's what I stayed away.
It went up. It went up in like the 10-minute span. Again, I had it in my bet slip. How come they never go down, by the way? So it goes all the way up to over 2-1. I'm like, all right, that's the FU line. They don't want you to bet it, but a touchdown, 1-yard run, it cashes. So, I mean, who's the worse for wear, you know? That's why I thought I was going to go 2 touchdowns. Then they lowered that from 270 to 240. And then I said FU to them. And I said, I'm not going to bet Josh Jacobs. How about that, FanDuel?
Yeah, and then they showed you.
So,
that's the FU.
Yeah.
Me and Dave, my line, and Dave liked it. I call it the beware of dog sign on the fence. You know what I mean? Some people have they put up beware a dog. Right? You know what I mean? It's like, well, all right, if you're a robber, it's like, all right, they got a pit bull in there. Let's just go to the next house. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's like they put up the beware of dog, the FU line. Hey, you want to play at FU, minus 225 to score, but he scored. He's going to be a part of a lot of the same game parlays. And normally I jump on that train, but I sort of saw it. And I was like, whatever, dude. I'm not going to get mad about leaving a 225 on the table, Scott. You know what I mean? What was it? You know, I can't believe I didn't bet it. Like, I'd get mad at leaving a plus 180 on the table or something. But I can't get mad. But Jacob scores. But I just clicked, Scott. We're here to bet, and I'm keeping faith here. Total's 44.5 right now. We got a 14-0 game midway through the second quarter of play. I believe we can get to 45. I just bet over 44.5. And I just took Jaden Daniels over 205.5 passing yards. Now, we come back from a commercial break, and I see the Washington Commanders are circled around a very injured teammate right now.
Oh, no.
What the hell is going on? This never helps. Dietrich Wise Jr. All right, so it's number 91. Yeah, but he's got like 6 paramedics around him. And like the whole, like everybody. What happened here? Did he break his leg or something gruesome?
Oof, let's hope not.
Oh,
yeah. Joe Theismann.
Yeah, ironically enough, Joe. Scott, Joe Theismann, Washington again. That was Monday Night Football that happened too. Right? So we got Thursday night.
Well, Thursday night this time around. Theismann or Alex Smith. That was just
D. Lyman. Like he was through the play and someone fell on his leg and one of those, his body went ways it shouldn't have went. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're talking about a 340-pound dude that just did the splits in the wrong direction type of thing. Like it wasn't good.
Wow.
I'm on Washington too. I hope he's okay. I don't want to I'm not trying to minimize it, but we're here to bat, right? Dude, it's like the delay, Scott. We always talking about killers. I hate that. I'm on Washington. It depresses teams, man, when they see their buddy break his leg and stuff.
Yeah. Right. Especially when it's that gruesome.
Yeah,
and
they came back and they were all there right around him, looking like all sad. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like we didn't see it live during a break, type deal, right? Like they're all rattled right now. They're down 14-0. Their buddy's all beat up on the field with his leg all torn up. Like, all right,
was that on the kickoff then? I imagine. Was that on the kickoff? It wasn't on a touchdown.
It was on the extra point attempt block.
Oh, extra point. How the hell is that? Well, I guess people.
He tried to block it. He came through the middle, and people ended up falling on him from behind.
All right.
I swear, Scott, I'm glad I'm not a referee. Like, you look at these refs, imagine standing on an NFL field. I've been on the sidelines before, guys. It's fast in real life. And, these referees are old, Scott. They're, standing in the middle of the field. You got, linebackers and D linemen flying past you. I'd be worried about getting run over myself, man.
Yeah. I tried to do a little of that in high school, right? And it was just nah, give me basketball. So now I'm doing basketball. It was
too many people crashing around you. Hey,
there was too many. And Gabe, and all the rules. You don't know the minutia.
Yeah.
You got to have this many linemen on this side and this many linemen on that side.
And the motion. Your left. You didn't declare your motion on that side, left side tackle. Yeah. And you got some coach pitching at you. Hey, you didn't call it. You didn't call it right.
And then you can't see the numbers, right? And the coach who got the penalty. I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? How can if you didn't see the number?
Just
how do you know there was a penalty?
Kid.
I saw the
tell
play.
The blonde kid.
Yeah, one of your guys. What can I tell you, coach? So it was just give me basketball. So I do basketball now. So, but it's tough. It really and the speed of the point being, especially basketball, man, it slows down. I don't know what the TV cameras do, but I'm telling you, the speed of the game is 20 times faster than what you're seeing on TV. It is just like crazy. How some of these guys can figure out if the feet are in bounds or not in bounds or in basketball.
Oh, I know. Even the charge or block in the NBA.
Guy.
We're sitting on our couch. Everyone's like, oh, it's clearly a charge. It's like, yeah, you know what? Be courtside in live time and see LeBron and how fast he's running down the court. And how quickly of a bang, like, oh, who got there first type of deal. No, you're right. The speed of the game. That's the beautiful thing about sports. No matter what, even if you don't like it, like whatever, you like a sport or don't. It's the same thing with soccer, Scott. You go to you watch soccer on TV. If you don't like it, it's boring as hell, right? You go to a soccer game and you're up in the stands, higher up, and you're like, yeah, it's okay, and you're drinking, and it's an event. Go to a soccer game and sit in like the 7th row right near the field, and you're like, oh, my God, I never realized how fast these guys were. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Dude, they're like blazing. It's like Tyreek Hill fast. Like, and they're just going by, and they're like, and you're like, man, it's just so much. You realize you're like, oh, my God, this looks hard. Right? TV makes everything look easy, guys. And nowadays, everyone's a jackass and thinks everything's easy to begin with, and they're an expert in everything, like we are in betting. So let's go. Commanders are now getting 13.5 total. What do you think, Scott? Are you interested in 13.5, or do you think they're going to get lit up and blown out?
I like Green Bay to start, but I would do a little bit with 13.5. FanDuel's got it at 10.5. Again, they returned it to the 35-yard line, so they dropped to 3 points because they're at their own 35. I wouldn't do that. I would take the 13.5 if they give me that again. But that's how fast that drops. And if I get like closer to 41.5, I would go with the over as well. All right, more coming up in-game live. GameDay. We'll check out the baseball when we come back.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes what. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with obviously Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, I'm not. Listen, we thanked them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards.
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out the action. So Washington down 14-0. They do have the ball. Let's see if they can put a little drive together here. Keep you posted on that stuff. Stanky's on 9/11 day. Boy, if you like to play hunches, you know, President Trump was in the Yankee locker room before the game. Like, are the Yankees really going to lose on 9/11 day? I have to see what their record is, but it's not happening tonight as far as losing is concerned. 9-2, they lead the Tigers top of the 7th inning, so I don't even think the Yankee bull can blow that one. Another under on Kansas City and Cleveland, two of the best under teams. 2-1 Kansas City was 7.5 today. It's now 4.5, top of the 8th inning. As these two teams, this is like what we're talking about, Gabe, as far as teams, like they can't make runs because, you know, you got a 4-game series and it turns out, you know, Kansas City's going to win 2, Cleveland's going to win 2, and 4 days later, they're right back to where they were. You got to win
3 of the 4. At what point, too, Scott, in the season do you start, like, pushing the envelope? Like, if you're you know what I mean? Just like going all in and, you know what I mean, leaving pitchers in, taking guys out, playing like every game's a playoff game. You know what I mean? And knowing, like, guys, splitting this series is not good enough. Like, if we need to win the last game, and if we don't, we're almost out. So I'm putting this guy in now. Like, yeah, like you said, but that's the difference between good, mediocre, and real teams. Washington moving the ball here a bit is not easy for them, though. You'll notice, like, their receivers, number one, are not open at all. Like, they're looking on this pass again, not open, right? So the receivers aren't open. When they are, they're not really, you know what I mean? Everything is, like, in front of the line of scrimmage. Nixon is doing a great job tonight on these guys. He's the one to punch the ball loose out of Samuel earlier. But, Scott, everything is, like, you know, in front of the first down marker. There's a lot of dink and dunk stuff. You brought up his numbers earlier. And/or it's sort of Jaden took off. Like, nothing is smooth, Scott. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, yeah, their offense. Like, no. Like, you know, they remind me, it looks like Michigan against Oklahoma. It's like helter-skelter. It's like, you know, we should be better, but we're not. What's going on right now, guys, right? It's one of these type of deals.
I would, you know, like, I go back to, like, the college days with Jaden Daniels. I know you don't want to get your quarterback killed. I get that, but you're down 14-0. Now it's 4th and 5 at the Green Bay 33, so I imagine it'll be kicking a field goal here. But, you know, every once in a while I'll just say, you know what, Jaden, your team, let's go. Quarterback draw to the left, quarterback draw to the right, little rollout, maybe some bubble screens, you know, to see if we can get the defense to loosen up a little bit. But just say, you know what, Jane Dan, it's your team. You go ahead. Just complete you versus, you know, handing the ball off to 90-year-old Austin Eckler or trying to throw bombs. You know what? This is your team. Go make a play, you know. But we'll do quarterback draws or whatever, or bootlegs or whatever the case may be. So field goal good. So it's 14-3, 4.5 minutes left to go. Over-unders at 44.5, and the line dropped to 10.5. So at least they got a little something, you know. And they do get the ball to start the second half. Yeah.
Yep. So if you're, I know it's obviously cliche to say, but there's still time here. Get a stop, get the ball back. Even if you kick another field goal and make it 14-6, get the ball back to start the third quarter, and you're only down a score. Like, if we're selling the positives here from Washington. Green Bay's got to be careful, guys. Green Bay are one of these teams. And, Scott, I hit Wake Forest in the first half tonight, plus the points.
Nice.
And I hit Wake Forest plus 3.5 in the first quarter tonight. NC State, we talked about it like Nebraska. Like, Nebraska, there's a lot of these teams, Scott, they really do repeat themselves. Nebraska starts strong all the time and then have to hang on for dear life in games, right? And, you know, it's like this, you know, panic at the end. NC State, same thing. Like, just following the trends. I bring this up because you're a trend guy, Scott. Wake Forest were 9-3 last year in the first quarter against the spread. NC State were 3-9 last year against the spread in the first quarter. They lost the first quarter. Wake Forest won the first quarter. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the history of Wake. And I figured, you know, also it's sort of the strategy, guys, you know, for moving forward, and it'll help for tomorrow night. A good example, because we got a bunch of TV games tomorrow night in college. You know, these weeknight TV games, the campuses get fired up, the fans are extra drunk, the kids are excited, everybody's there. So even if the team is overwhelmed, they'll play well in the first quarter, Scott. You know what I mean? The first drive of the game, you know what I mean? You'll see them hanging around.
Right.
And then the better team eventually will wear them out as the game goes on. But I think we can really cash in, Scott, with these, like, first quarter underdogs in primetime games in college football.
Yeah. getting over a touchdown, no less. Like, I think NC State right now is probably a pretty good play at basically pick 'em. So there's a crazy line Saturday. Let me see if Gabe can pick it out when we come back and talk about it.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Listen, we thanked them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards.
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. So, good job by the Commanders' defense. They force Green Bay into a punting situation, 4th and 11 from their own 26 or so yard line. So, with just over 2 minutes left, they got a chance to add maybe a field goal. Who knows, maybe a touchdown. So, we'll keep you posted on that. 8.5, and then over-under is 44.5. So, we were just talking a little college football before the break there, Gabe. And so, yeah, there's a line which, well, I tell you, it's not that it's so crazy, but it is crazy. Do you think you can find it? It's between noon Eastern time and 3:30 on Saturday. Is there a line that kind of like
look? I'm not looking at the card right now. So, but I thought you were going to I thought you were going to test me or quiz me, and I had to pick the game. Okay. So I'll look at the college football card here. All right. So
yeah.
All right. So what's the line that baffles you?
West Virginia getting
the
7.5 at the backyard brawl. I don't want to give away one of my opposite picks, but I will tell you, West Virginia at home. Now, not just, this is at home, getting 7.5, unless they're playing in a neutral site, which I don't know about yet. But
it's a home game.
It's a home game, right? So West Virginia has either won outright or covered 7.5 in the last, not 7 backyard brawls, not 8, not 9, not 10, not 11, not 12, not even 13. How about in the last 14 games between West Virginia and Pittsburgh, West Virginia has either won outright or covered 7.5. And I'm getting a touchdown plus. Anything about that?
They were in the game last year, and they let them off the hook, right? Pittsburgh escaped. It was 38-34 win. West Virginia won the year before, as you stated. This does seem to be a series, Scott, as we discussed earlier. I brought it up, how history repeats itself, and I can't disagree with you. I'm not the biggest Rich Rodriguez fan, to be honest with you.
Me neither.
But but it is what it is. And I'm with you. I think the spread is too high in a very, very competitive football game. Thing is, West Virginia haven't looked good this year, right? So, right. But you sort of throw that out. They're going to play their best against their rival here, and Pittsburgh have looked good this year, so that's why it didn't make my cut, as the top picks. But I did find the point spread to be somewhat curious on the road. There's a few point spreads, Scott, that are sort of like, okay, like Georgia and Tennessee's a good example. Who do you like in that one? Like it's 3.5, right? I mean, it's pretty low, bro. Tennessee don't beat Georgia, Scott. They never beat Georgia.
I was gonna say I'm still looking for the first person that likes Tennessee, right? I mean, I think they all just say Georgia. I'm getting Georgia, not quite a pick 'em, but still I'm getting Georgia.
And the quarterback, Scott, the Aguilar kid of Tennessee, is running his mouth. He's not talking about Tennessee, but he's like, we don't need Nico. We're a team now, and, we're doing better. And the quarterback's father was talking smack. I'm thinking, you haven't played the Georgia Bulldogs yet, kid, so I wouldn't be running my mouth so much. You beat Syracuse, okay? Chill out.
Austin P and Syracuse. Not exactly a who's who of college football,
Wait before you start slamming Nico at a UCLA kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's see when you play. I saw that one, and I'm like, am I walking into a trap here? Because I'm taking Georgia. Nobody talks about Georgia anymore.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if you like Georgia, you bet them now. Because, like I said, I've not heard anybody, Gabe, say they like Tennessee. I guarantee
it's
you that
moving
line
too.
goes
I see
to
a
4.5.
I see a 4 now already. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to go up. It definitely will. So, kind of one of those moment of truth games, right? For all these really good teams that just can't crack the top. Tennessee is one of them this week. There were a couple of others this week. I forget the other ones. That it's just like, all right, you want to pretend you're with the big boys, then go ahead and win that football game. Forget about coverage, win outright.
Here's a quick anecdote, Scott. I don't know if you saw it, but the Oklahoma Sooner medias, they were ripping Philadelphia on a hot mic during a press conference earlier in the week. Like, we got to go to Philadelphia. Yeah, like the media, though, not the team, but they were like, oh, yeah, I hear Philadelphia's a real hellhole. Oh, yeah, that's great. And, like, they're a bunch of Souths. They're scared. Oh, we don't go to the East Coast often. And they're like, yeah, Temple's a joke. It's like a high school, and, like, there'll be no people there. And no from Oklahoma wants to go to Philadelphia type stuff. The Temple coach is pissed. He's like, yeah. They said, did you hear it? He goes, yeah, I heard it. I played it for the team. He goes, I played it for the team. Yeah, I don't know if it's enough, Scott, but I just love this stuff and I just love that. Like when one team's pissed and stuff, like I got goosebumps now. I'm not even a Temple guy. I'm like, just picture like in practice, the coach, freaking Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Like, and you got to be careful of that stuff too. Because Temple might know we're not going to win, but some kid on Temple might think, you know what? Screw this Mateer kid. I'm taking him out. You guys running your mouth. Right. I'm going to kill your quarterback. Right? You got to be careful. Don't poke these teams when you go on the road and their fan bases, and don't call their city hellholes and stuff like that. You make it harder. You could get food poisoning in a hotel now or something,
Yeah. Hey, listen, we saw what happened with Tulane, right? With Northwestern,
they let them wear the jerseys.
Yeah. So, it's funny. I will say I looked into it a little bit. Now, I still think ultimately, I don't care if it's 5 minutes before kickoff, you could change the jerseys. But the Northwestern side said they asked us so late we couldn't. We already brought our jerseys, and I guess they asked them last moment, right? But again, if you wanted to, you could have said fine, go ahead.
It was 3 weeks from what I understand. They said we already have it planned and it's set in stone. A lot of these teams,
you could change.
It sounds crazy, but a lot of these teams actually plan their uniforms 2 years in advance. And don't forget, they have deals as well, right? They're trying to sell them. They have a deal with Nike. Yeah, we're going to wear it 3 times. Like, there's a lot of everything's a business now, man. All right, so Washington moving the ball here, guys. 2-minute warning. We're back from it. 50 seconds left. They're inside the 40 right now. Hey, they got to stop. They get the ball to start the second half, guys. So I don't know what a touchdown here, but even a field goal, you make it, you cut it by 8, and you say, all right, we didn't play well. They played great. We're only down by a touchdown here right now. They really are just having a hard time throwing the ball down the field, though. Like, the total's at 41.5, Scott. I bet the over 44.5. This game's just not going anywhere.
Yeah. See, this is where I might jump in now. I'm trying to figure if they're accounting for a field goal here or not. I got 4th and 4 at Green Bay 40.
Are they?
So you're looking at a 57-yarder.
I got the long field goal prop. 50.5 it was.
Yeah.
I called it. We said 50.5. I don't know if he's going to make it. I mean, the modern NFL, it seems like everybody makes these kicks, right? But
yeah,
it's a long kick.
I would give it a try. 18 seconds left. Even if they got the first down, they probably wouldn't have time to run another play or so, if that. So,
the kick is no good.
Wow. Well, that's good for me. I like the over, but still.
There's enough time right now. There's enough time, though, with the ball being where it is. No, there's 14 seconds still. They got the ball with 14 seconds. They don't have any timeouts, though, from what I can tell with their little modern graphic screens that I can never tell how many timeouts are left anymore.
I think they got 3. Is it 3 or
are
none?
those timeouts on their little things on the side there? I
think
tell.
so. Although Washington didn't use any timeouts, I find that hard.
Why don't they just put the dots underneath like they used to? I can't tell with this. What is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's an idea. Just put T.O. Just spell it out if you want to. Timeouts. That's all we need. We don't need little
baseball games. Some of these baseball games, Scott. I watch all these different teams. I'm like, what the hell is your little ticker here? I don't even I can't tell what's what. It's not hard, guys. I know they got to overcomplicate everything. But look at this. Yeah. They complete the pass. Jordan Love's on the money. So, boom, they complete the pass, and they're going to be in field goal range. So, Green Bay might tack on a field goal here. They're on the 35-yard line right now with 8 seconds left.
You'll get your 50-yarder here.
If he makes it.
50-yarder on this drive. If he makes it.
If he makes
it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Do you risk
if we can get it?
You risk it with one more play.
Scott, it just popped back up to 44.5 right now. Yeah, they are running one more play. They got 8 seconds. They are running one more play, and they're going to screw me because the 35 right now is perfect.
Oh, it's 52 yards. Yeah.
No.
Oh, no. Get an incompletion. Oh, that's funny. All right, well, you know what happens when we come back.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going in the battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, yeah. I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards. You know,
27 yards. The kid shanked it from 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, battle of futility with the field goal kickers as the Packers miss a 48-yard field goal. Wow. After Washington missed a field goal. So we're right back to square one. 14-3. They're at the half. Commanders will get the ball to start the second half. Lines 9.5 for Green Bay, obviously, and 40.5 now it's down to as far as your over-under. So 10-1 for Packers on the money line, plus 560 I'm seeing with Washington if you want to grab them on the money line. So we'll grab some of the numbers, let the system kind of kick in, but we'll get some thoughts here on the first half with our good buddy Tom Vecchio, SportsGrid Radio TV host. You see and hear here all the time on the grid. So Tom, 14-3, not exactly a stellar game, but we saw this Monday night with Chicago and Minnesota. It turned out to be a thriller. So give me your impressions of the first half.
Good, but not great. You guys were talking about as, the break was happening, a lot of yards for Green Bay, but not necessarily a lot of scoring. They went forward on fourth down to start the game. Didn't come, obviously they didn't convert that. Really slow start from the Commanders where they're going, 3 and out. They're barely getting first downs, wherever it might be. But I would expect it to pick up. I think taking an over, what is it now, 40.5 or 40.5. Yeah. I think that's totally fine. At a certain point, we're going to have to see the Commanders. You can't be taking these check down passes from Daniels. Like, you have to start breaking off big chunk plays. And like, it sucks to say this. Like, I wish I knew the result of the first drive in the third quarter, but they have to come out and score, or the Packers are just going to salt this game away with Josh Jacobs.
What surprises you the most? The conservatism? Like, we brought it up earlier. I understand wanting to establish the run, but they're running the ball. Is it Green Bay's defense is that good, Tom? I didn't want to overreact after the Detroit game, but the Washington wide receivers aren't getting open. Everything is a check down. Jaden seems hesitant to just sort of take off, and when he drops back to pass, he's under pressure. It's like a collision of both things. That Washington are like in preseason mode, and Green Bay are flying around. But I got to believe, like you said, that the sense of urgency picks up for Washington here in a second.
Yeah, I would say it maybe is a collision of things. Like, both things can be true, where we saw the Packers really good last week, and there were reports or, coming up pregame, Ian Rappaport saying that Micah Parsons now wants to play on 50% of snaps compared to 29% from last week. So, last week they were good, but theoretically, if he's going to be playing more, their defense is only going to be getting better. So if they are getting better and we are seeing the Commanders, come out, this is a short week for them. It's a short week for the Packers, but the Packers were at home last week. They didn't have to travel anywhere. So if the Commanders come out slow, I think this game is just dusted, and the Packers are not just going to cover tonight, which was 3 points. They're going to win this game by 10 or 15 or 14 points, wherever it's going to be, because there's no sense of urgency. There's no chunk plays. There's no downfield passing from the Commanders. All the things that you would need to stay in the game and minimize the time that Daniels has the ball in his hands, to minimize the effect of Parsons. None of that is happening.
How about some props? Josh Jacobs, he's got 40 yards plus. Giving us FanDuel now has it at 80, 81, depending on where you do your shopping. He does have 12 carries, which is the key because they don't give him the ball 20, 25 times. They basically give him the ball, between 15 and 20. So you're confident he's got enough carries left in his wallet to get to the 80-plus yards?
I think so, especially how this game script is going. And again, like I said, if we knew the result of the first drive of the third quarter for the Commanders and they come out and they can't score, well, then Green Bay won't have any sense of urgency. They're like, okay, hang on. We just got the ball back. We're up multiple scores. If we can put a field goal on the board, like, we're at minimum, we're going to be cruising in this game. So let's just give Jacobs the ball and kind of cruise to a victory on a short weekend and have this mini bye. So I like Jacobs. If you can get him at over 79, 80, wherever it is, I think that's where you should be looking. But I will say, if they do score a touchdown, I think it's going to be Tucker Kraft. So I would take a shot on that.
I agree. I was going to say the same thing about Tucker Kraft. I did already play him score a touchdown at plus 210 before the game, but think about it, guys. They pound the rock, and then boom, they hit Kraft over the middle of the field, deep down the field, like they did already, right? They've already set him up for this play. They can set him up again, I think.
Yeah, I certainly like it. I was on Dobbs for a TD, for the TD jackpots. It was nice to see that one come through, the promo that FanDuel is going. So that's great. I did talk about Austin Eckler over 20.5 receiving yards, which I tweeted out the other day. I thought it was going to be a good spot for him just because, if the pass rush from the Packers was getting to Daniels, he has to get the ball out quick. we've seen some targets for Eckler. He's just not breaking them off. He's getting 2 or 3 yards at a time, which is absolutely useless at a certain point.
All right, how about Daniel's passing props? It's down to 184.5. He's got only 49, but they're trailing. Running game's not there. Can he get to 185?
The correlation in my brain is saying if I'm not willing to bet the over, like there's obviously some correlation of him going over 184.5 to get to 185 and them covering 9.5. I think that was the live line last time I saw it. So if he can't get to over 184, then I should be looking back Green Bay at minus 9.5 right now and minus 112. So you can find an in-game way to do so. So if you like that, then the game's probably going over as well. So over 40.5. So if he goes over 185, that means that they're moving the ball and they're scoring. It's not just going to be one or the other. So I don't mind it, but I would also look for a correlated play with that by either taking the Commanders or the over, and I would side with the over, not the Commanders.
What about the Commander wide receivers? Samuel's got three catches. His prop is 5.5 right now. So 3 more balls to win that bet in the second half. That's the number right now. McLaurin is he's got 2 catches, Tom. It's over under 4.5, but over is plus 105, under is minus 135. Eckler's caught 2 balls. He's 4.5 right now. From a prop perspective at the half here, from a Commander wide receiver perspective, who do you like?
I would side with Terry, but I would go to his yards at 46.5, minus 114 on both sides. Yeah, as I've always said, yards are always easier compared to receptions. Like a player can have 99 yards on 1 reception. He can't have 6 catches on 1 catch. I know it sounds stupid to say, but Terry breaking one off for 30 or 40 yards, boom, that gets you over the yards. He could roll an ankle on that play, and then you're never going to get over on the reception. So I always prefer yards before receptions. But if they are going to move the ball, they need to get it going. They need multiple plays to get things down the field. So I wouldn't mind Terry, but yards first.
All right. Good job, Tom. Always appreciate it. Gabe and I will give our picks here, but ultimately, who do you think wins, real quickly?
It's Packers. I had the Packers in the first half. They keep it rolling.
There you go. Tom, great job, man, as always. We'll do it again soon. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes what. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going in the battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, I'm not. Listen, we thanked them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards.
27 yards. The kid shanked it from 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Getting set to start the second half, Washington and Green Bay. Just update the college football here quickly, though. NC State scores. I'm assuming that's, well, maybe not the I was going to say the opening drive of the second half, but unless that took 8 minutes, it might not be. So
no.
24 all, no, right? Yeah. So we gave out the NC State. I like them at Pick'em. Now they tied it up, and now they're back to being 3.5-point favorites. So if you wanted to hedge, you could on the other side. But I still think NC State finds a way to get the job done. Like you said earlier, Gabe. Eventually,
and
these teams, it takes a little while. Yeah, in a close one. It takes a little while for the better teams to kind of flex their muscles, the hometown crowd and everything else. So at least NC State gets the win.
Like I said earlier, these campuses, these teams, the underdogs, they get fired up for the game. And the kids are drunk. So half these kids are passing out now as the game goes on, right? And
yeah, they don't know who wins.
It starts to lose its momentum. That's why I talked about the first quarter. Oh, rah, rah, rah in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then the other team starts to take the lead and wear you down. And then suddenly people start leaving and it starts to fall apart. I got Wake plus the even 7. It was 7.5 before, but I got the 7. I already hit the first quarter and I hit the first half. I expect NC State. I even tweeted before the game. I said, I think NC State are going to win a game, but I'm taking Wake plus 7 first quarter and second quarter. I should have just jumped in with you at the time and middled it and took the pick 'em at the time and really been in a good spot. I still think this will be close, but it wouldn't surprise me if NC State actually ended up winning by exactly 7. They often do land right around the number, but we're ready for the second half, Scott. And Vecchio was right. This first drive for the Commanders is paramount to the future of this football game, Scott. What are you going to do in the second half here?
Yeah, I tell you, I'm going to double down. I always put a little something aside if things aren't going the way I thought they would go, and that's with Jaden Daniels' rushing yards. 37.5. He's got 14. Like I said, I think somewhere along the line, he's just going to say, what the fudge? You know what? I'm going to scramble. I can't throw. My wide receivers aren't getting open. When they do, they're dropping the ball. It's a winnable game, so let's go. If he doesn't get at least 30, 40 yards rushing, I liked it at 44.5. I still think that's going to be a winner. Just give us one little 10, 15-yard scramble, and we'll be well ahead of the pace. So I like that. I'm going to go under, believe it or not, under passing yards for Jordan Love. It's kind of hedging the Washington side of things, because if Washington doesn't, get this thing closed, it's going to be, Josh Jacobs and everyone else in the second half and less passing. So he's at right now 214. You only need 90 more yards to get to 205, but I don't think he's going to get there, Gabe. His best wide receiver is out. They're going to have the lead, hopefully third, fourth quarter. Little hunch bet on a rare underplay, passing yards Love.
I don't have a problem with it, although I do think Washington can get back in this game. We got a lot of football left. You know what? I agree with Vecchio. I took the over 45.5 yards with McLaurin, but I think Deebo Samuel is going to catch a bunch of quick hits and stuff. He's so big. They got to get him the ball. He's at 3 catches now. It's 5.5, so we just need 3 catches in the second half. So give me McLaurin over 45.5 receiving yards and Samuel over 5.5 catches. And they are moving the ball. They got a nice return, Scott. They're already on the 40-yard line right now. So if they score a touchdown, suddenly we got a game, right? And I don't just say this. I like to see a competitive game and have some fun and comebacks and crazy fun football. But the NFL, these games, we talked about it on Monday, Scott, they often save the best for last. I just sort of got the same feeling. I was watching Green Bay walk off the field after that missed field goal and stuff. And just sort of see him you guys don't look too happy for a team that's up 14-3. I could just sort of see this let's talk in an hour. And Washington, quite frankly, Scott, can't be as bad all night as they were in the first half offensively.
Right. Yeah, and we have a better opportunity with Washington than we did with Minnesota, and Minnesota came through. We said it on Monday.
Yeah, you got to tell Jaden Daniels, be like J.J. McCarthy in the room. All right, come on, pull a J.J.
Yeah.
Seriously, forget about the first half, Jaden. JJ, honestly, it would almost come up. Hey, forget about the first half. You saw what happened in the Minnesota game the other night. Let's go. Second half this thing. Let's go, Jaden. They do seem to have a little bit more zip and step right now, I will say.
Yeah. It's as we said Monday, Gabe, when you get 2 evenly matched teams, it's just so rare watching football all these years. It's so rare for one team to dominate another team when it's evenly matched. It's just, in Green Bay, just like just like Chicago, they just leave the door open. They left some points on the board with the missed field goal. That was big. You're just asking Washington to get back in the game. Like I said, I like Green Bay. I would have hedged earlier when you were getting 10.5. It's down to 7.5. They got a first down. I guess they went for a 4th and 6, and they got it. So Washington's on the move. We'll let you know what happens when we come back.